Hello and welcome to another video here on DAX Wednesdays. Today we're going to have a look at a DAX function called divide. This DAX function belongs to the math and trigonometry family of DAX functions. Let's switch to Power BI for the demonstration. So this is going to be a very short video. In our Power BI report, we are going to use a dataset with a table called table, where we have three columns: sample, numerator, and denominator. So as a data modeler, when you write a DAX expression for, let's say, to divide a numerator by a denominator, you have two options. The first one being the divide operator or the forward slash, which we use in Excel as well. So let's add a new column over here. We're going to use the divide operator. Let's call this column the divide operator forward slash operator. Put in first of all the numerator column followed by the forward slash followed by denominator, and we say okay. We'll just adjust the number of decimal places to 2. Now you can see for most of these rows it has returned to us the value that we should get by dividing the numerator by this denominator. But let's take a closer look at the results, especially row number 3 for sample 3, where we see it has returned to us infinity. Why is that? If you have a closer look in the denominator column for that row, you see we are attempting to divide a number over here, which is 23, by 0. Now that is of course going to return us an infinity or an error, because we cannot divide a number by 0. So this is where you need to be careful while using this forward slash operator in your data model. In order to rectify this kind of error or issue, Power BI lets us use a DAX function called divide. So I'm going to add another column over here. Let's call it divide is equal to, I'm going to once again type in divide, but this time around it's going to be the DAX function. So let's see what all arguments this DAX function takes in. It has 3 arguments. First of all, numerator. So let's type in the numerator column, put in a comma. Next up, for the second argument, we need to put in once again the denominator column, we say comma. Now you see, for the third argument, it is an optional argument that we can provide. But before we do that, let's see what happens if I were to close this DAX function right now and put in 2 decimal places. So now you can see we don't have a similar error that we saw with the forward slash or divide operator in the results. It is returning us the same value, which is obvious, but for the third row, it has returned to us a blank value. So this divide function, divide DAX function, was designed to automatically handle division by 0 cases, which is the case in row 3. Right now we haven't put in an alternate result or the third argument. This function has returned to us blank. But let's see what happens if I have to put in an alternate argument for the third argument over here. So this third argument that we're going to put will be the value which will be returned when division by 0 is taking place. This alternate result should be a constant. Let's put in 1 in this case. I'll say okay. Now you'll see, instead of the blank, it has returned to us the value of 1 with 2 decimal places. So now you can see why this divide function is convenient, because it saves your expression from having to first test all the denominator values. Now over here we have a sample set of 5 rows, but let's imagine in your data model you have tens and thousands of rows. You are not going to have a look in each and every row to check if there is no value of 0 in the column. So it's recommended that you use the divide function over the divide operator whenever the denominator is an expression that could return 0 or blank. And we also need to take care about when we should put in an alternate value of, let's say, 1, which we have used in this example. It's usually a better design that they return blank. Returning blank is better because report visuals by default eliminate groupings when summarizations are blank. So if we are to remove the alternate result, it will show us blank, and this grouping of blanks will not appear in your report visuals. So it allows the visual to focus attention on groups where data exists, which is 18.33, 24.25, etc. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.